The crystal champagne flute trembles in my hand, its bubbles fizzing like my nerves as I watch my sister Megan Reed glide through the banquet hall. She's a vision in her emerald green designer dress, the kind that costs more than my rent, probably more than my startup's entire budget, this quarter. Every head turns, every smile tilts her way. It's March 14th, 2025, my parents' 40th anniversary party, but leave it to Megan to make it her personal runway. My name's Ruby Reed, 29 years old, and I've spent my whole life squinting in her spotlight. The room hums with chatter, clinking glasses, and the occasional burst of laughter from the open bar. I lean against a pillar, my scuffed black flats sinking into the plush carpet. Megan's over by the dessert table now, her Manolo Blahniks clicking like a metronome of perfection. She tosses her chestnut hair and flashes that megawatt smile, the one that landed her senior vice president at Peak Industries. I take a sip of champagne, the cold fizz sharp against my tongue, and try not to roll my eyes. "Oh, sweetie," her voice carries over the crowd as she air kisses Mom's cheek. "The party's fabulous, though I'd have gone for the Ritz instead of this cozy little spot." Mom beams, oblivious to the dig. I mutter under my breath, "If my startup lasts another month, I'll call it a win." Tyler Brooks, my best friend since college, sidles up with a smirk. His tie is already crooked, and his dark curls are a mess. Classic Tyler. "Don't let her rattle you, Rubes," he says, nudging my arm. "You've got this." I snort. "Yeah, tell that to my bank account." He grins, scanning the room. "She's peacocking hard tonight. Bet she's got a promotion to flaunt." He's not wrong. Megan's circling the guests now, shaking hands like a politician, her laugh a polished chime. My fingers tighten around the glass. I've got a pitch deck due Monday, a prototype that's one glitch from imploding, and here I am, playing wallflower at my own family's party. Typical. But then my phone buzzes in my clutch. Ethan Carter's name flashes on the screen. My heart skips. Maybe tonight's not a total loss. The crowd around Megan thickens, a swarm of moths to her flame, and I'm stuck on the fringes, a reluctant tag-along in my own story. My flats scuff the floor as I sip more champagne, its bubbles now flat against my growing irritation. She's holding court near the ice sculpture, a swan, because of course it is, recounting some corporate triumph to a circle of Dad's golf buddies. They nod like she's parting the Red Sea. Dad's voice booms across the room. "Ruby, join your sister!" It's less a request, more a summons, and I nearly spill my drink. Heads turn my way, eyebrows lifting. Great. I plaster on a smile, the kind that hurts my cheeks and weave through the guests, dodging elbows and polite nods. My sensible heels thud dully compared to Megan's crisp, sharp clacks. Two different worlds in every step. "There's my little sis," Megan says as I reach her, her tone syrupy enough to choke on. Her perfectly glossed lips curve into a smile that's all teeth. No warmth. "I was just telling everyone about my latest promotion, Senior VP at Peak Industries." The crowd murmurs approval, and I manage a tight, "Congrats," though it tastes like ash. Mom's friend Linda, her pearls gleaming, tilts her head at me. "Still tinkering with that. What was it again, dear?" Her kindness stings worse than malice. "It's a tech startup," I start, my voice steady despite the heat creeping up my neck. "We're working on..." "Oh, Mom," Megan cuts in, her laugh a blade through my words. "Did I mention my $3 billion merger? 2 years in the making." She turns to me, eyes glinting with false concern. "What's your last quarter take? Ruby, still bleeding cash?" The room tilts, dozens of gazes pinning me like a bug. My skin crawls, but I grip my glass tighter, refusing to flinch. Tyler appears at my elbow, his presence a lifeline. "Here," he says, swapping my empty flute for a fresh one. "Liquid courage." I take it, grateful for the distraction, but Megan's not done. No shame in admitting the startup game's too big for you, sis, she says, loud enough for the back row. I could probably find you something entry level at peak. Great benefits. The pity in Linda's eyes, the smirks on the golf buddies' faces. It's suffocating. My company's fine, I say, louder than I mean to, my voice cutting through her smugness. We're actually on the verge of... On the verge of what? Megan's laugh turns heads again. Another busted prototype? Remember your lemonade stand, Rubes? Couldn't even turn a profit at 10. Mom titters nervously. Girls, please, this is about your father and me. But Megan raises her glass, undeterred. I'm just trying to help. We can't all be winners. Someone's got to be the family underdog. The silence is deafening. Dad stares at his shoes. Mom fusses with her earrings, and I feel the weight of every stare. My phone buzzes again in my clutch. Ethan Carter, second call. My pulse kicks up. Excuse me, I say, my voice steady despite the fury clawing my chest. I need to take this. I turn away, Megan's next anecdote already rolling, but that buzz in my hand feels like a lifeline. Something's brewing, and I'm not the underdog she thinks. I slip into the hallway, the marble cool against my back as I press the phone to my ear. The banquet hall's noise fades to a dull hum, drowned by my pounding heart. Ethan, thank you for calling, I say, forcing calm into my voice. Ethan Carter's smooth tone comes through warm, but clipped. Ruby, I've rechecked your pitch. Perfect timing, given your sister's firm. I lean harder against the wall, watching through the doorway as Megan raises her glass for another toast. Timing's everything, right? Remember when we met? I say, my words tumbling fast. You wanted innovation that helps people, not just pads profits. My software's slashing energy costs for small businesses by 40%. Real impact, real results. 3 years flash by. Late nights in my shoebox apartment, Tyler scribbling code on napkins, empty coffee cups piling up. This is it. Ethan pauses, and I hold my breath. Decisions made, he says finally. $20 million? Papers on the way. Media's getting it now. Should hit within the hour. The world tilts. You're saying yes? I ask, gripping the phone tighter. Yes, he says, a smile in his voice. No problem with the press? None, I say, thinking of the TV droning in the banquet hall. Perfect. I hang up, slumping against the wall as Tyler rushes over. Well, he asks, eyes wide. I show him the text, Ethan's term sheet, $20 million locked in. Holy hell, Rubes, he whispers. This is huge. Shh, I say, pulling him back from the doorway. It's breaking soon. I want her blindsided. His grin turns wicked. That's savage. I'm here for it. We slide back into the party, just as Dad taps his glass. Laura, he says, looking at Mom, 40 years ago, you took a chance on a guy who couldn't tie a bow tie. The crowd chuckles. I check my phone. 10 minutes to the evening news. You believed in me? Dad goes on. And that changed everything. Mom dabs her eyes. The TV's volume creeps up, a news anchor's murmur cutting through. Sometimes, Dad says, all it takes is one person believing. The TV blares. Breaking news! All heads snap to the screen. My heart stops. We're receiving reports. Ruby Reed lands $20 million from Ethan Carter in a major green tech deal. Gasps ripple through the room. Megan's glass freezes mid-sip, her face draining to chalk. The investment, the anchor continues, one of the state's largest this year, comes after Carter pulled out of talks with Peak Industries. All eyes swing to me, then Megan. Notifications flood my phone. The story's everywhere. Mom's voice quavers. Ruby, is this real? Before I can answer, Megan's champagne clatters to the floor, her perfect mask cracking. I straighten, meeting her stare. This isn't over. But for once, I'm not the one in the shadows. The banquet hall explodes into chaos. The second the news anchor's voice fades, a tidal wave of gasps and whispers crashing over the polished floors. My phone lights up like a slot machine, notifications pinging so fast I mute it just to breathe. Megan's champagne flute lies shattered at her feet, a jagged puddle of fizz soaking into the carpet, her face a mask of white-hot shock. I stand taller, feeling the weight of every stare shift from her to me, the air thick with something new. Respect, maybe, or just raw curiosity. Mom's voice cuts through the din, quavering like a cracked bell. "Ruby, is this real?" She's clutching Dad's arm, her eyes wide with a mix of pride and panic. Before I can answer, the crowd surges my way, a swarm of congratulations and questions swallowing me whole. 20 million. Unbelievable. One of Dad's golf buddies booms, clapping my shoulder like we're old pals. Linda's beside him, pearls bouncing as she gushes. "Always knew you'd make it, dear." I bite back a laugh. "Sure you did, Linda," while scanning for Megan. She's gone, a ghost in her own spotlight. I catch her silhouette storming toward the exit, mascara streaking her cheeks, her perfect poise, unraveling with every step. Our eyes lock for a split second, and I see it. Rage, yes, but something else too, something raw and unguarded. "Someone's gotta be the family letdown," I say softly, loud enough for the nearest guest to hear. But it's not me anymore. The words hang there, a quiet bomb, as she disappears through the doors. Tyler weaves through the throng, two fresh flutes in hand, his grin wide enough to split his face. "Time for a real toast," he says, pressing one into my grip. I take it, the cold glass grounding me as Mom grabs my elbow. "Oh, honey," she says, her voice thick. "We had no idea you were this." I meet her gaze, steady despite the lie in her words. "Yeah. Well, I've been busy." Dad's hovering now, loosening his bow tie, muttering, "Should have paid more attention." Too late for that, I think, but I don't say it. Guests I barely know swarm closer, their questions a buzzing hive. "What's the tech do? How'd you snag Carter?" I field them with half answers. Energy savings, small businesses. Just good timing, until Natalie Hayes, my mentor, cuts through like a lifeline. Her gray blazer's sharp as her tone. "Let's get some air," she says, steering me toward the terrace. I follow, grateful for the escape, Tyler trailing with a smirk. Outside, the evening air hits my flushed skin, crisp and cool against the chaos, still buzzing inside. Natalie hands me a water instead of champagne, her dark eyes steady. "Tomorrow's when the grind starts," she says, leaning against the railing. "Tonight, you enjoy watching her squirm." I sip the water, the glass slick with condensation, and glance back through the glass doors. The TV's still looping the story, my company logo flashing next to Ethan's name. "Not why I did this," I say, but a small, wicked part of me disagrees. Tyler leans in, voice low. "She's giving a speech. Heads up." I spin back inside just as Megan's voice rises from the center of the room, mascara smudged but steady. "As the more experienced businesswoman here," she's saying, "I feel it's my duty to warn about startup risks." My stomach twists. Natalie mutters, "Damage control," but I'm already moving. Megan's parting shot echoes as she grabs her purse. "This isn't done, Ruby." And I know she's right. The night's flipped everything, but the war's just begun. Morning light barely cracks through my office blinds, but the place is a war zone. Phones screaming, emails piling up, reporters camped outside like vultures. I tug at my blazer, its sleeves creased from a sleepless night, and stare at my computer screen. Headlines scream, "Ruby Reed's $20 million coup shakes green tech." I should feel victorious, but Megan's voice from a streamed interview cuts through my haze. I worry about green startups over-promising investors. She's in her office, composed as ever, spinning this her way. Tyler bursts in, coffee sloshing in his hand. She's online, Business Insider, 20 minutes ago. I pull it up, her words a knife twist. Peak Industries believes in proven records, not flashy prototypes. My fingers hover over the keyboard, itching to fire back when the door bangs open again. Megan strides in, her navy suit immaculate, a folder tucked under her arm. Well, well, she says, her smile razor sharp. Quite an upgrade from that garage. How'd you get past security? Tyler demands, stepping forward. Told them I'm here to support my sister, she says, her gaze locking on me. Family first, right? Mom trails behind her, frazzled, her cardigan askew. Ruby, have you seen the news? Your father hasn't slept? Megan's been calling nonstop. I stand, chair scraping. What do you want, Megan? She sets the folder on my desk with a deliberate thud. A deal. Peak Industries will buy your company. Sweet terms. You get a payout, an executive gig, and, she glances at Mom, family peace. I laugh, sharp and hollow. You mean swallow your rival to look good? Her composure cracks. Just a flicker. I'm shielding you, Ruby. The scrutiny, the pressure. You're not ready. Stop! Mom pleads, wringing her hands. This fight's ripping us apart. Tyler crosses his arms. With respect, Mrs. Reed, Megan started this. I nod, stepping closer to her. And I'm finishing it. You're not here to protect me. You're terrified of me, finally. Her eyes flash, but she recovers fast. Scared of your little science project? Please. I'm saving you from crashing and burning. The folder sits there, a ticking bomb. This offer's good for 24 hours, she says, voice tight. So's your credibility if you don't turn this around, I fire back. Must suck watching your perfect image crack. She leans in, close enough I smell her perfume. Floral. Expensive. At least, I built my success honestly, not by hijacking family events for publicity. My breath catches. Honest? Should we talk about how you got your first promotion? Dad's buddy investing after that cozy dinner? Girls! Mom's voice breaks, tears spilling. Stop. Just stop. Megan straightens, smoothing her jacket. Think about it, Ruby. You're in over your head. She turns to leave, but I call after her. Must be tough not being the only star anymore. She pauses, back stiff, then walks out, Mom trailing with a helpless glance. Tyler whistles low. She's rattled. I slump into my chair, staring at the folder. Yeah, but she's not wrong about the pressure. My phone buzzes. Natalie. Press conference in 40, she says when I pick up. Megan's spinning her narrative. We need to move. I grab my laptop, heart pounding. On my way. The stakes just doubled, and Megan's not backing down. Neither am I. The living room smells like burnt sugar, Mom's stress-baked cookies cooling on every surface as I step inside at 6:50 p.m. Megan's SUV's already in the driveway. She beat me here, of course, setting the stage like always. Dad's in his armchair, looking older than his 64 years, his tie undone. Mom emerges from the kitchen, apron dusted with flour, her eyes red. Sit down, both of you, Dad says, his voice gravelly with exhaustion. I take the far end of the couch, Megan claiming the other, her posture rigid in a crisp white blouse. The tension's thick enough to choke on. Would anyone like coffee? Mom calls, wiping her hands. Mom, please, just sit, I say, rubbing my temples. Let's get this over with. She sinks into a chair, muttering, Over with? This is your family, Ruby, not some meeting. Megan smirks. Could have fooled me. Dad leans forward, hands clasped. Your mother and I have talked. This rivalry's out of hand. I laugh, sharp-edged. Rivalry? You mean Megan's sabotaging me? She sits up straight. Sabotaging? I offered to save you from yourself. By stealing my company, I snap. Mom's voice cracks. Girls, this is exactly what we mean. What happened to the sisters who shared everything? She happened, Megan says, pointing at me. Little Miss Perfect, always the victim, scheming behind my back. I stand, heat flooding my chest. Me? You've undermined me my whole life. My college grad party. You announced your engagement. Her jaw tightens. That wasn't intentional. Right, I say. Like telling my first investor I was unstable wasn't intentional. Dad's head jerks up. You did what? Megan shifts, uneasy. I was protecting him from a bad bet. Protecting yourself, I counter. Heaven forbid anyone else shines. Mom starts sobbing and Dad stands to comfort her. We've got a part in this, he says, voice low. What? Megan and I say together, a rare sync. We pitted you against each other, he admits. Grades, sports, careers. Mom nods weakly. We thought it'd motivate you. Megan's bitter laugh fills the room. To hate each other? Mission accomplished. I don't hate you, I say quietly, sinking back down. I just wanted you to see me, not as your failing little sister. Something flickers in Megan's eyes, soft and fleeting. I see you, she says. Everyone acting like you're a genius. It's only a matter of time before I fail, I finish, or before you realize what success costs. Her voice breaks, barely. Think I love being the golden child 24/7? Mom sobs quiet. You were always enough, Dad says, looking between us. Both of you. Megan's phone buzzes. She glances at it, paling. Board meeting tomorrow. Emergency session. I hesitate, then offer. I could float a collaboration statement. Ease the heat. She stares. On one condition, you stop the jabs, public or private. She nods slowly. Trying. It's not fixed, but as we sit there, the air shifts, just enough to breathe. 2 weeks after the family meeting, my office is a battlefield. Phones shrill nonstop, my inbox drowns in unread emails, and the air hums with panic. I stare at my laptop, a cold sweat prickling my neck as I read the subject line. Latest product test results. Critical failure. The data's brutal. Our prototype crashed spectacularly, and worse, it's already leaked. Headlines swarm my screen. Ruby reads green tech flops. My chest tightens, the triumph of Ethan's deal crumbling like ash. My phone rings, Megan's name flashing. I answer, bracing myself. Have you seen the headlines? She asks, skipping pleasantries. Her voice is clipped, urgent. Yeah, I say, refreshing my browser, another hit piece. Your stock options are toast when the market opens. We're not public yet, I remind her, my voice thin. But Carter Enterprises is, she counters, and they're tied to you. I glance at the conference room where Ethan's just finished tearing into my team, his face a storm cloud through the glass. Tyler bursts in, no knock, his eyes wild. Reuters wants a statement, now. I wave him off. Nothing yet. Back to Megan, I say, Don't talk to the press, she cuts in. Come to my office, now. What? Why? My grip tightens on the phone. Because I've been here before, she says, and you need help. I hesitate, the room spinning, then grab my bag. Fine, 20 minutes. I'm in her corner office before I can second guess it, the city skyline stark through her floor-to-ceiling windows. She's pacing, heels clicking, her blouse crisp despite the hour. First rule of crisis management, she says, not looking at me. Never show 'em you're rattled. Easy for you, I mutter, dropping into a chair. Your career's not imploding. She stops, laughs, bitter, short. Remember my merger at Mom and Dad's party? Tanked because I rushed it? Cost peak millions. I blink, stunned. You never said. Because I spun it, she says, sitting across from me. Show me the results. I hand her my laptop, the failure laid bare in charts and red ink. She scans it, frowning. This isn't as bad as they're saying. Tell that to Ethan, I say. He's talking about pulling out. She starts typing, fast. He won't. We need to get ahead of this, together. Together? My phone buzzes. Natalie. The vultures are circling, she warns. 3 acquisition offers, including Peak. I, Megan. Not you? She smirks, still typing. Nope. Maybe trying means something after all. The lobby buzzes with our little celebration, champagne flutes glinting under the soft lights, as Mom's laughter mingles with Dad's gruff chuckles. My blazer's wrinkled, my hair's a mess, but I feel lighter than I have in years. Mom pulls Megan and me into another hug, her voice thick. My girls, side by side. I never thought I'd see it. I squeeze back, catching Megan's eye over Mom's shoulder. She doesn't pull away. Dad steps closer, hands in his pockets. I always knew. Don't, Megan and I say in unison, then crack up, the sound echoing off the marble. Tyler passes out glasses, his grin infectious. To kicking ass and taking names, he toasts, and we drink, the bubbles sharp and bright. Natalie leans against a pillar, watching us with that quiet pride she's always had. Why'd you push us together? Megan asks, swirling her drink. Oh, please, Natalie says, laughing. You think it was luck Ethan scoped both your companies? That the crisis hit just right? I nudged. You grew. Dad nods, almost sheepish. Smart lady. I hug her again, whispering, Thanks for the shove. She winks. Knew you'd figure it out. Megan pulls a folder from her bag, her eyes sparking. Got ideas for our first joint project already? I take it, flipping it open. Safety upgrades, rollout plans. We just finished the board meeting, I tease, but her smile's warm, real. Time waits for no one, little sister. I set my glass down, the weight of it all settling. Ready to shake things up? She nods. Together. Mom's still dabbing her eyes, Dad's beaming like a kid, and Tyler's cracking jokes with Natalie. Ethan joins us, raising his glass. To the future, he says, and we echo it, the sound ringing clear. Megan shows me her phone, emails from clients praising our move. Turns out doing right pays off, she says, softer now. I tap her glass with mine. I knew. Standing there, surrounded by the people who've pushed me, challenged me, believed in me, I get it. Success isn't about outshining Megan. It's about becoming who I'm meant to be, rivalry turning to redemption. The shadows are gone, and what's left is ours, together. The Carter Enterprises boardroom feels like a courtroom, its long table lined with suits staring us down like judges. Megan and I sit side by side, an odd alliance under the fluorescent glare. My hands sweat as I clutch my tablet, the technical analysis ready. She's cool beside me, her notes crisp, but I catch her tapping her pen, a rare tell. The board's lead, a gray-haired exec named Harris, waves our joint press release. This partnership feels desperate, he says, voice gravelly. It's strategic, Megan fires back, smooth as silk. Peak's engineering team pinpointed the testing anomaly. I pull up the data on the screen, my voice steadier than I feel. The core tech's solid, it's the parameters we botched. Fixable with Peak's scale. Harris squints, unconvinced, but I push on. We've got the numbers, faster rollout, better safety. Megan nods. I've done bigger fixes. We've got this. Ethan studies us, his dark eyes unreadable. We're supposed to buy this sudden sisterly teamwork isn't just damage control. My stomach flips, but I stand, meeting his gaze. Actually, it's overdue. Sometimes the best partnerships come from unexpected places. Megan stands too, her voice firm. Ruby built something game-changing. I was too stubborn to see it, until now. Another board member, a woman with sharp glasses, cuts in. Peak's stock rose 3% after your announcement. Convenient. Megan doesn't flinch. Good business isn't manipulation, it's timing. Ethan raises a hand. Let's be direct. You're saying this isn't a stunt? I switch slides, showing market projections. Look at this. Together, we hit twice as fast with Peak's channels. Or you pull out, we both tank, and you miss the decade's green tech breakout. The room goes quiet, tension thick as fog. My phone buzzes. Tyler. Turn on CNBC. I grab the remote, flicking the boardroom TV on. The anchor's mid-sentence. In an unprecedented move, Peak Industries and their former rival unveil a joint venture experts call a game changer. Stock tickers flash, Carter and Peak trending up. Ethan's lips twitch, almost a smile. Well, the market's talking. Harris leans back, grumbling, but the vote's quick. Investment stays, with extra funding for our alliance. Relief floods me as we step into the hall. Megan grabs my arm, whispering, "We nailed it." "Yeah?" I nod, breathless. "Right." Our parents wait in the lobby, Mom crying happy tears this time. My girls, side by side, she says, pulling us into a hug. Dad just beams, tie still crooked. Tyler and Natalie appear, champagne in tow. "Sorry to crash the fam vibes," Natalie says, pouring glasses. I take one, the fizz a welcome jolt, and catch her eye. "You planned this, didn't you?" She laughs, sharp and knowing. Planted seeds, Ethan eyeing both companies, the news at the party, this crisis lining up. You two did the rest. Mom shakes her head, half scolding. "I don't know whether to thank you or—" "Thank her," I say, hugging Natalie. "Sometimes we need a shove." Megan's phone pings, client prays for the partnership. "Doing the right thing's good business," she says, a real smile breaking through. I clink her glass. Who knew? The boardroom win sinks in. Not just survival, but a new start together.